My name is Heather Feather. I'm the owner of Rare Bird Medicine. Today's topic is reclaiming your power. There, as always, are a few different angles I want to look at this topic from so that we can kind of connect to the prismatic consciousness on the topic at hand. And one of those ways that I want to look at this topic is recognizing that you have a temple called your mind, and you have a temple called your heart, your inner world, your inner realm. And it is relatively common, I know from my own experience, it is relatively common to let someone outside of you sit in the temple room of your inner temple. So maybe that partner in your relationship, maybe a parent, somebody in your outer life, you are giving greater authority in your inner world than yourself. You know when something feels off. You know when your partner is being controlling or manipulative or emotionally abusive or mentally abusive or physically abusive. You're aware of that. You may not understand the magnitude of it. There are qualities in two-leggeds like narcissism that can have all kinds of disturbing mental manipulations that go hand in hand. So you may not know the matrix you're dealing with, but you know when something feels off. And I wanted to speak today about your freedom, your right, your ability in any moment of now to kick anyone you want out of your temple chair, out of your sacred inner temple, and actually out of the garden of your life. Bye, Felicia. You know what I mean? Anyone, you can say in any moment of now, I experience you as your interactions with me are something that I choose to feel unhappy about. And I choose happiness, so I don't choose to interact with you as much. We need to break up, or you need to na. And it really, we get real attached to the titles and roles. We are label makers. That ego loves to label things. Let's label everything. And then we get attached to those labels. You're my parent, so I can't tell you, you're being emotionally manipulative. There are plenty of adults that are emotionally manipulative or that are narcissistic or that have matrices that are unhealthy to their children. Everybody's had some poison to drink around here. And it's okay to say hey, I'm going to need you to contact me at a different time because what you're doing right now, the way I'm experiencing it is causing me unhappiness. And I'm the steward of my happiness, so we'll have to have this conversation at another time. You are welcome to back out, to step away, to turn around, and to ask others to exit your temple. The temple of your mind, the temple of your heart, the temple of your life, the temple of your body. You're welcome to reclaim your power in any hour of now and be like, get away from me. No thanks. No thanks. Not only are you not going to be, you may want to be friends with everyone, but you're not going to be friends with everyone because there's 8 billion people on the earth. Also, I would say, irrespective of the number of people on earth, there are going to be many two-leggeds that you're going to bump into if you live a full life that are not going to get you. They're not going to understand you, and there's no amount of explaining and trying to get them to get where you're coming from that is going to cause them to get to a level of evolution or understanding to where they compassionately, generously listen and receive you. And it's technically not really your project to get people to understand you. As my wise sister once said, you barely understand yourself. Stop expecting others to understand you. Try understanding yourself. Focus up on the star player. The other way I want to talk about reclaiming your power, as I'm working on the class on shamanism that I'm teaching right now, I like to hand out, this is my way through YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, to hand out freebies of what I've filled my cup with. And what I want to talk about today, in addition, another slice of this pie, is alpha theta brainwave reprogramming. Now, when you are in a brainwave state that is 7 to 8 hertz per second, so 7.5 is around where the lower end of the alpha spectrum, and it's the higher end of the theta brainwave spectrum. Alpha would be where you just close your eyes. So I got to say, we're most often in a beta brainwave state. Beta, when it's turned up too high, causes anxiety, it causes stress, one of the number one causes of illness, and overwhelm. So if you're experiencing anxiety, stress, and overwhelm, it means not only are you in a beta or conscious aware brainwave state, but you have the volume turned up so high on it so consistently because you're constantly logically discerning, judging, ego matrix labeling, that it is becoming a drain to the matrix. So one of the ways you can jump out of that beta brainwave state that is giving you stress, anxiety, overwhelm is to go into an alpha state. And we simply do that just by closing the eyes. You can go to sensory deprivation tanks. There are all kinds of ways to move into alpha and then theta. But just a freebie in your day-to-day is to just shut your eyes, shut out the world for a minute, stop labeling everything, just be still within the vessel. It's when we start to kind of retreat more towards a meditative state, we're going to activate alpha. And alpha really supports us with, creative visualization and imagination. And then as you continue to move through the hertz of an alpha brainwave state, you start to move towards theta. And theta is where that little 7 to 8 hertz per second window between alpha and theta is where you actually have the opportunity to reprogram your subconscious mind. So what I would say about your subconscious mind, that is 90% of how your brain operates every day. And another way to refer to subconscious mind would be no choice. Subconscious mind is your conscious mind received information from 0 to 7 when you developed your personality matrix. That information that your conscious mind received developed your subconscious programming. If you've ever driven a car on automatic pilot, you were doing that because your subconscious mind is running most of the time. And it is programmed. It is set. This is what I think. This is what I believe. This is what I believe about money. This is what I believe about children. This is what I believe about people. This is what I believe about the world. And it is a set program. It's essentially software that already has all the zeros and ones of the binary for the software program that you have plugged in that is playing all the time. That's your, probably operating system would be more accurate, but that's the system that's going on all the time. So you have, some would say 5, some would say 10, but let's go on the high end, a 10% chance of offering new conscious information. The challenge is when we receive new conscious information that can be used by the brain, it's usually received in a beta brainwave state. When we're in this like stressed out or just conscious logic labeling state of being conscious and aware and in conversation with someone. So that conscious perception, that new idea of like, oh, I am rich, or I am in love, or I do have everything I want, or the universe totally works in my favor, or that reprogramming we might want to do with our brain around how we hold each day and how we hold our lives, it's not going through. It's not making it into the operating system, into the subconscious no choice system, so that it becomes a reflecting point of your conscious 90% of each and every day that you walk through your life. So in order to get the new conscious information, a new thought, a new way of holding relationships, a new way of holding your friendships, your family, your relationship to prosperity, your relationship to wellness and health, and your capacity to be in a healthy state, which fundamentally you're made of energy. Energy doesn't just stop moving, so you have access to unlimited health as well. Prosperity, abundance, loving the self, caring for the self, practicing self-care, being secure and centered in the self. In order for that new conscious information, new idea, new thought to become part of the operating system that runs you 90% of the day, you would need to introduce it into your consciousness when you are in an alpha theta brainwave state. Here's how you do that. Fun! It's free, it's easy, yay! Everybody loves free and easy. Here's what you do, is you write a script. So you can handwrite it, type it out, nobody cares. You write out a script. My script is I am Heather. I am connecting to my soul. I am connecting to my divine consciousness. I start with the connecting level of where, hey, here we're attuned to the star player. And then I add affirmations, I am statements that are positive around like I am abundant, I am able to receive, I receive prosperity, I am able to receive love, I receive love, I am offering love. Whatever languaging, whatever consciousness, whatever platform you want to launch through each of your days with, you then write into that script. And what you do is you use a recorder on your phone, which the majority of you have. I have an old school phone, so I either don't have a recorder or couldn't find it because I have a super old phone. Yay! And I downloaded an app for free that was like one of those old school tape decks. I was more than 75 back from my era, which creates a certain nostalgia and is fun for me. And so I enjoy the project. And I'm able to hit a record button and then hit stop. And I'm able to go to what looks like an old tape deck to play this recording every morning and every evening. So you are in the 7 to 8 hertz brainwave state as you drift off to sleep. You start to go from your beta to alpha as you drift off to sleep, and then it goes from alpha to theta and from theta into delta. And then you move from delta back into theta, back into alpha and then beta when you awaken. So right as you fall asleep and right upon awakening, you are in that range of that 7 to 8 hertz reprogramming opportunity for your brain. So I have 3 recordings because I'm an overachiever, everybody. 2 gold stars for Heather. So I have 3 recordings every morning and every evening that I listen to. It's recommended that you listen at least 30 days. They say habits are formed in 21. But every morning and every evening, I have a recording I listen to called Letting Go, which is, I am Heather, I am connecting to my soul, I am letting go of XYZ, I release it from my consciousness, it is removed from my consciousness. I have all the programming of what I'm going to release. I deactivate in the neural network the wiring and firing for thoughts of lack of love or whatever that is. I have an abundance and prosperity, and I have a self-care, self-love. And I listened to that recording. What I did when I made the recording is I took the script, I spoke clearly, slowly, and repeatedly, because I repeat the script 3 times. Every night as I start to drift off, and I have a calendar reminder on my phone because we are inundated with information. Data processing is going to increase exponentially every single day that Earth School exists. We increase the amount of data. I mean, think about, the 20s where somebody might sit on the stoop and be like, hey, Sally, as Sally passes by, or what's up, Juanita, or whatever. And now we're processing our telephone, billboards, emails, text message, social media, Snapchat, Twitter. It's just like we are just inundated with data from the internet to the TV to the... It's no longer like, what's going on, Bill? It's just, now it's like all this infiltration of data. So what you want to do is to give your brain, when it's ready to reprogram, the opportunity to receive new conscious data that it can add in to the subconscious programming, so that when your mind is running that programming 90% of the time, it includes things like, I love myself. I easily receive love. I am open to love. My experiences are fulfilling. I have lots of fun. I find that I often play. Like, 2-leggeds are real addicted to, like, you gotta work to pay the bills, and like really negative consciousness, because most of us don't want to work to pay the bills. We want to play to live. So in order to elicit a different experience, we would need to elicit a different experience in our consciousness. And you could have a job that feels like play to you that pays the bills. That's also a possibility in this realm. So we get to be the steward of the temple. Is there anyone today that you need to kick out of your temple chair in your temple room? You can trust Heather Feather has had a lot of 2-leggeds that I've been like, you need to get up out of my temple chair. I'm not sure why I made you the king of it. Bye. Bye. I'm going to pray for you outside, across the moat, outside the fence of the garden of my life. Is there anyone that you need to remove from your temple room? And are there any thoughts, is there any awareness that you would like to have be different? About 95% of our programming is repeated programming that does play out. 90 to 95% is what they average the subconscious programming content is. And 80% of that is negative. 80% of 95% of your programming is negative in nature. That's the type of subconscious programming that's going on. So that means 2-leggeds have a lot of cleanup to do if we want to have a positive, peaceful, loving world to live in and way to experience ourselves and others. So my next question is, what would you like to program your day to look like starting now? Let's get that recording going, morning and night. Let's start shifting the way we work in our individual world. Let's be the change we wish to see out there. Let's shake the web with some newness. You can always go to rarebirdmedicine.com, click on the classes link. We do have more classes coming up, and you can always subscribe on YouTube. Blessed be.